What up, people? Welcome. RoyalFlush here. Welcome to the Marvel Rivals. I want to show you guys a few things about Gambit that is not really quite mentioned in the game, but if you know anything about MarvelRivals.com, they have their character move lists via the heroes page. Check it out. It looks something like this. And here you'll see a bunch of data on your characters that isn't shown in game. Okay, your base stats, your health, and yada yada. And then we can break down each move too. But I want to focus on a couple things, mainly on why you should be healing as Gambit more than dealing damage. And then I guess we can cover some damage aspects too. Okay. So first, let's start with this card. Okay, Primary Fire, very important here. I mean, you're gonna be using this button a lot. Okay, kinetic cards. Check it out. Okay, three. It fires like straight ahead. Okay, there's a very small angle between them, but notice the damage is higher. Or sorry, notice the healing is higher than damage. Okay, one important thing about Gambit to know is that he has a 5% healing boost. So anything that is healing related, you have to multiply that number by 5%. Okay, 0.0 times 0.05. Okay, so it's not reflected here, but while it says 28, I do believe the game rounds up most of these values. Okay, so let's do some quick math here. That's 28 times 0.05. That's 0.14. So let's just say it's actually doing 30 damage, or sorry, 30 healing as opposed to 20 damage. Okay, that means his healing is better on his cards than his damage output already because of this healing team up bonus. Okay, you got it. So there's that. So all in all, that means your healing stats should always be higher than your damage stat. Okay, I'm gonna just here. I'll even put Punisher in the way and those two bots in the way too. Okay, these cards should reach. Even though it's only hitting, I'm just holding the button down. Haven't been playing for very long, but my healing should be more than my damage. Okay, well I was practicing some healing damage stuff early on, but I think if I continue this long enough, more times than not, healing will outdo the damage. Okay, I should have caught up by now. Yeah, it's catching up. Okay, because even though one card is hitting Punisher there, the other two are hitting the bots that are just a bit further away. Okay, see, already ahead of healing than damage by 200. Okay, in this short amount of time. Healing hearts. Okay, this is probably Gambit's most important healing ability. Okay, I call it heart because if you're not familiar with Gambit's moveset, you spend a card, either a heart or a spade, to activate that card's sleight of hand. So that's basically the initial card followed by two different follow-ups. Okay, so if you just hold the card itself, this thing here, the heart, it's firstly it's self-healing. Okay, but notice it doesn't give you healing boost. Okay, let's look at the damage. I'm sorry, the healing page. Okay, so notice the stats here. 8 seconds to recharge the card itself. Heals 20 per second within the duration of 6 seconds. Okay, so that's a total of 120. But then this is not accounting for the damage or the healing boost team up. Got it? So we take that 20 times 0.05. So in reality, he's actually getting 21 health a second. Okay, so 21 times 6. That's a total of 126 health. Okay, just by not taking part in combat, and also not self-healing himself, or not being healed by other means. Okay, but when we look at heart, this ability, it's a bouncing card here. Okay, notice though the allies that I use the ability on, they get the 4 seconds of healing bonus. I'll do it again. Okay, a bonus healing. There, you see that?
Ain't looking for a fight.
So if Gambit participates in the heart bounce, then he should also get the 15% healing bonus. Okay? There you go. You see how I got in the way of it and made sure it bounced on me? So that means any action that's healing him will also give 15% healing. But I mean, if you want your health stats to be good, you really need to use this ability like so often. Okay? Because it's the only one that boosts the healing potential. So now let's look at the healing stats again. Okay? His base healing is about 30, okay? times 0.15, and this is per card, by the way. Okay, per card. So it's about 35. Okay, so 35. So each card during this part will do about 35. And so if you're getting hit by all 3 cards, 3 times 35, you're actually getting 105 healing a second. Okay, I wish that were exaggeration, but it's not. So that means he's really good for healing tanks and groups. Okay, because you already get the bounce heal from this. So now this will keep you alive for quite a while. Okay, so when you cook these cards, I like to say cook. Okay. Typically, the buff itself is around for 6 seconds, but the card itself replenishes in 8 seconds. So if you really don't need to spend any ability, any sleight of hand abilities, so like spade heart, okay, for the explosion. If you don't need to spend anything, and you are still firing cards all the while, best thing to do is firstly, you want to cook the card for as long as you can. And then before the 6 second is up, you want to spend your ability because you're going to reload. Okay, here's his reload animation without spending on any cards. Okay, there it is. It's not a very long animation, but Gambit's a very resource heavy character, and if you are not managing your resources well and you're burning through your abilities, you're not going to have the abilities for when you need them. Okay, so what's the best thing to do? Cook your card, spend your fire on just targeting your allies for healing or dealing damage, preferably healing though. Okay, so we'll click the heart card. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the second to last hit or the last hit, you can spend the ability, and then boom, the ability will actually reload his cards without him having to do a reload animation. So if you want to be efficient with your fire rate here, make sure you cook your card first before you start firing your cards at your allies or your enemies. Okay. I'll even do the damage one, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we can skip the reload animation on either the 7th or 6th fire of his cards, because he throws 3 cards at a time. Similar to how Luna Snow, her shot is also 3 shots at a time, but Gambit is literally 3 separate shots in the same fire. That's why you can target enemies and target allies all at once. Just something like this. Okay. Trying to get the ally to heal, but you can target the ally and target the enemy at the same time. If you get it this way. See? It's actually getting just a little bit of both of them. See? Healing and also healing. Hitting just a little bit. Depends on distance. Okay? So, as far as damage dealing Gambit goes, if you use the spade card, okay? Notice the borders on the screen. That means he's getting the 15% damage boost right there, okay? So, unlike the heart card where he's only self-healing, but he's not getting a healing boost just yet. It's only if you spend heart, okay? And he's involved in the bounce of that heart. Spade, so 15%, same thing, 4 charges, 8 seconds per card. Interesting thing to note is that if you spend on either of his sleight of hands from the spade, he does not get a damage boost from the follow-up, okay? The 15% damage boost goes away as soon as you use the follow-up. You want to make sure that you fire as many cards as you can before the duration of the spade damage power-up is gone, okay? So that way you're not just wasting the ability on the damage, either the explosion or the anti-heal. Okay, so if we're talking about his regular damage, let's take a look at his regular damage again. So if it's 15%, for a spade card, okay, 15% damage, plus his regular, or times it by his regular damage per card, so potentially 20 times 3, okay. But let's just look at it per card, okay. 20, and then we times that by 1.5. How much is he getting? Okay, this is going to be if he has the damage buffs. 20 times 0.15. We round up. Okay, so it's 3. So that means 23 times 3, potentially 69 a card. Okay, nice number, right? So, what do we do? Again, you want to make sure you fire your card as much as you can. And then by the last one, you should be able to spend it for either the explosion or the anti-heal, okay? But just know that the explosion or anti-heal will not get the damage buff, okay? So spend your damage. If it's time to do damage, then you throw your cards, throw as many as you can before you fire off the ability, okay? Lastly, his ult. All the things that it does, well, here, let's just take a look. That way, we could explain it and just show how good it is, okay? It's the second ult in the game that's actually 10 seconds, so it's literally as long as Luna Snows. But that's not all. That's just the duration of the ult, okay? We need to look at this ult very carefully. The Raging RoyalFlush. No relation. I'm kidding. There's very much relation to me. 4,300 energy cost. Cone-shaped. 40 meters. So that's pretty far, okay? Your allies really don't need to be that close to you for this to work. You see, the ones that are still alive there. But now let's get that third one in there. I got to get just a little bit closer. This is how far 40 meters is. Okay. Just for reference here, you can take a look just like that. Okay. If you see 3 of them, that means you're in range. Okay. But if you're out of that range, 40 meters, then they're not in there. So your goal is to try to get as many of your allies as possible, so that way they receive the buffs. Okay. Next. Let's take a look at, so you get one-time healing of 100. So again, you times that by 0.05, and that's actually 105 for the one-time healing. You get a damage boost of 20%. That's everybody included. Healing over time. 75 a second. So again, damage or healing buffs. So 75 times 0.05. We'll round up. So that's actually 75 plus 4. 75 plus 4. That's 79. That's actually 79 healing a second. For 10 seconds, right? You get 30% damage. You get 30% ult charge. And again, 10 seconds long. Okay? So all those things combined. The one thing that it actually does not mention, though, is take a look at this. At the very end of it, it does an explosion, okay? So I'm turning it. It's only on... Wait, you got nobody. Do it again. You do this. Make sure it's on people. Okay. The cards around for 10 seconds, but notice it's going to do damage at the very end. Okay. Explosion. Okay. So we know Punisher is a 300 health character, and I want to say those tick marks represent about 25. So I want to say it's doing maybe like 65 damage, okay? Let's KO Punisher. And then I'll do the ult again, but I'll add the spade damage boost at the very end, okay? Okay, so it's on me. Only. Okay, but at the very end, I'll add the spade. Just who Gambit was looking for. Okay, perfect. So now that time, it's on the tick mark, okay? He's knowingly a 300 health character at 325, so that means with the buff, 15% buff, it did about 75. So not much, but with everything that the ult does, it's really, quite a package, okay? So you really want to make sure you get your allies in there when it's time to use a healing ult, okay? Lastly, let's just cover Bayou Bash, okay? I think it's good to know that this move does healing, but also does damage. Real quickly, let's look at the stats on Bayou Bash itself. Just the slam, okay? Just the slam. 60 damage and 60 healing to himself. So when you're out of cards, you want to make sure you use Bayou Bash, okay? The cooldown on it is, well, there's 2 of them, and it takes 8 each, okay? But he also has a separate dash called Cajun Charge. Okay, I'm looking at it. Here's the stats on Bayou Bash itself, okay? Self-healing, 60. To allies, 60. But also damage, 60. But remember, you have to multiply the healing boost damage buff, okay? So 60 times 0.05. So in terms of healing, it's actually doing 63 to self and to allies. And this doesn't even include the 15% from the healing hearts, if you happen to use it. So let's take, 63 times 0.15. Okay. So that's about 10. So if you have the Healing Hearts buff, or Healing Hearts heart follow-up, that's about 73 healing, okay, to self and to allies. That's big. So take a look at that. A big part of Gambit's moveset is really balancing all the card actions with your Cajun Charge and the Big Easy slash Bayou Bash, okay? You don't want to spend these too quickly because now you give up your escape tool, but also they're a valuable healing and just, you know, good for all around utility. So that's why I think Gambit is such a versatile and very utilized character. I mean, while I don't agree that he should be used for DPS purposes, he can contribute to a fight quite well, okay? But I still think, like, majority of the time, you really should use your heart functions, okay? Heal your allies, people will like you, and then remember, use your healing hearts, heart follow-up, and then that way, people will love you, and you will not be suspected of throwing. Okay? Heart is the bridge boost. Okay. One last thing about bridge boost, while it does kind of track, it's easier to confirm your first target if you see the little indicator. When they're in range, you're guaranteed. Okay. Guaranteed to at least have it hit one target. Best thing though is make sure it hits multiple. Okay. That way, it's healing multiple for bounce, and you're healing your allies, okay? Everyone's gonna love you. Everyone loves a healer Gambit. No one likes a DPS Gambit, okay? While he can do some cool shit like this, okay? Flank. Save that for when you're up in the team fights, okay? Only time you should be really utilizing your Spade card is when you're up in team fight, and there's also enemies that you want to single out, okay? Otherwise, heal your allies, okay? Gambit has quite the good healing for his type of fire. Alright? Otherwise, I think I've covered everything, okay? Have fun using him. You know, I love using him. Here's another one more reason why you want to be healing more as Gambit as opposed to doing damage. You want that Lord icon? Read his requirements, okay? Hero time, that's a given. Healing, 9,000 healing. Not 9,000 damage, he's a healer. 9,000 healing. KOs and assists, okay? As long as you're using your hearts card, or you attack an enemy that's been damage buffed or debuffed, fine. But you're more likely to have them during the 4 seconds of healing boost count as an assist, okay? This should rack up because of the amount of healing you're doing, okay? Sleight of hand stacks. So remember, your initial heart and spade card, this isn't the sleight of hand stack. I believe it's the follow-ups after. So you have 4 different follow-ups. Make sure you're using your heart ability as often as you can, making sure you're healing. Okay? And if you do all this well enough, you can get yourself your Lord icon, okay? Great. People will love you. You'll be like, oh man, already got that Lord icon? You must be healing your Cajun booty off, okay? So, make sure you do that, and people will love you. If you're a GPS Gambit, please use a different character, or else you will get flamed, you will get blamed, and I've got nothing to say other than please do it, alright? Please. Alright, but anyways, hope you enjoyed all that. Thank you for watching. Make sure you share Gambit, because I know people love him, and if you can't, you can ban him, alright? Enjoy your games, and thank you. Bye.